Hello everyone. So let's see in detail about the menstrual cycle. So what is menstrual cycle? The menstrual cycle it describes the phase that happens during the menstruation. So it is widely divided into two important phases. The first half is the follicular phase and the second half is the luteal phase. So the luteal phase is that which is constant. Like how? The luteal phase is 14 days. So if the lady is having a 28-day cycle, then that luteal phase is 14 days and the remaining days is the follicular phase. But if she is having 30-day cycle, then the 14 days, the second part of that 14 days is the luteal phase, which is constant, but the first half is the follicular phase. So in that way we can calculate the follicular phase and therefore the ovulation, because at the end of the follicular phase we have the ovulation. So let's see what happens in follicular phase. As the name says, the follicular phase, the follicle is developed in this phase. What is a follicle? In the ovary, there are Graafian follicle which holds the ovum in it. So one Graafian follicle will develop and the ovum is released. That happens in the follicular phase. So let's see how it happens. So here we have the hypothalamus which will be releasing GnRH. This will be acting on the pituitary, which will be anterior pituitary as well as the posterior pituitary, which will be releasing the follicle stimulating hormone, that is FSH. The FSH will now act on the ovaries, where the Graafian follicle will be developing and the ovum will be released. So when this Graafian follicle is developing, we have cells within the Graafian follicle. That which is surrounding the ovum is the granulosa cells. So the granulosa cells will be releasing the estrogen. Upon stimulation by the FSH, the granulosa cells will be releasing the estrogen. And the Graafian follicle will also get matured such that finally the ovum will be released. So during this time of development, that is during the follicular phase, let's assume that the lady is having 28-day cycle and the 14 days is the luteal phase, which is constant, and the remaining 14 days is the follicular phase. So now during the 14 days, when the Graafian follicle is getting developed, the granulosa cells will also be developing and therefore it will be producing the estrogen. This estrogen will now act on the uterus and it will increase the endometrial lining. So in layman terms, it can be remembered as the bed for the fetus is being prepared by the estrogen. So this is which happens in the first 14 days. By the end of the follicular phase, the estrogen will be so high and it results in a positive feedback. What is a positive feedback? When something is increasing, it is supposed to decrease that which is stimulating, right? But here the increased estrogen is going to increase the LH. Instead of decreasing, it will increase the LH. This is the positive feedback. Now the LH will be so high. So this extremely high LH is known as LH surge. The LH surge will cause ovulation to happen. So immediately after LH surge, the ovulation happens. Once the ovulation has happened, the cycle shifts from follicular phase to the luteal phase. So I would like to tell only one extra detail. How will the histopathology of the uterus be in follicular phase? They will be having long tubular glands in the uterus. Okay. Now let's proceed on to the luteal phase. The luteal phase is also known as the secretory phase. That is the constant one, 14 days. Here, after the ovum is being released, what is present over here? That which is present without the ovum, that is known as the corpus luteum. The corpus luteum will be having, so if this is the corpus luteum which is present without the ovum, so again we will still be having the granulosa cells. These granulosa cells are known as the granulosa lutein. And we also have theca externa cells in the Graafian follicle as well as the theca interna cells in the Graafian follicle. So, it will be present in all the cells. The theca interna cells which are present in the Graafian follicle is known as the theca interna cells which was present in the Graafian follicle is known as the theca lutein. What is the role of the theca interna cell which is present in the Graafian follicle? It is to produce androgens. The same role, that is the theca lutein, will also be producing androgens. The granulosa lutein will be producing aromatase, which will be converting the androgens to estrogen, that is the estradiol in particular. I have more details about it in the estrogen lecture. And the granulosa lutein will also be, so this is about granulosa lutein for now. I will also be producing a progesterone. Sorry. So this is the main role of the corpus luteum, that is the granulosa lutein. So the progesterone which is produced by the corpus luteum and in particular by the granulosa lutein will help to maintain the endometrial bed. So now for few more days, the progesterone will be maintaining the endometrial load, waiting, if the fertilization has happened, waiting for the zygote to embed in it. So it will wait for another 14 more days. If the fertilization and the zygote doesn't embed, the corpus luteum will degrade, therefore there will be loss of progesterone. The loss of progesterone will result in sloughing of the endometrium, which is the menstruation. So this is in short about the menstrual cycle. I have covered almost all the details. So I would like to tell you only one more thing. How is the histopathology in luteal phase? Here there will be spiral coiled glands. I hope this is useful to you. Have a good day.